Men will literally be like, I'm fighting battles no one knows about. The whole time it's just gay thoughts.
And believe it or not, even after seeing that, there are still some out there that wonder why the majority of men genuinely choose not to share their thoughts and their innermost, deepest feelings with another person, especially with a woman. Because, contrary to what many out there might be thinking, it is usually not men that would make that sort of a joke or downplay a man's mental health or their possible inner turmoils. They are more apt oftentimes to listen to another man if he's going through a struggle. But the ones that are most likely to make a joke are the ones that have been called the most empathetic of the two genders. And that would fall to some women out there. Because, in my opinion, some women, frankly, don't see other men as people. They don't even see them as human beings. And that is unfortunate.
So can we normalize you letting me borrow your husband and not in that way, you freaking weirdos?
What possible reason would a strong, independent woman have for needing to borrow somebody else's husband?
Like in the way where you both come over and he helps, hang my TV and lift all the heavy things and we drink wine at the same time.
I have an even better idea. How about someone figures out how to do all of those difficult things themselves? Because someone else's husband and men in general are not your free workhorses just to be used for your convenience when you want them around.
And I'll make you both dinner and he can have a beer at the same time too. Like it's a win-win-win-win. But I need to borrow your husband.
No, this is just my opinion. But frankly, I am rather tired of a lot of women out there making the rest of us look rather bad, in addition to setting us back at least 50 years, if not more. Men are not something to be used just for a convenience when you need them. They are people. Do try to remember that. What exactly is the point of being a misandrist? I have been wondering this for a very long time. And hopefully there's someone out there that can actually tell me what the point of all that hatred is. Because one would think that there must be one, especially with the ever-increasing popularity that I keep seeing of misandry among some individuals. And by some individuals, I mainly mean some women. It's becoming exceedingly popular for women to despise men. But what exactly is the goal in doing so? Since when has hatred ever made a person change their mind or change their ways? Really, no, I want examples of when this has done so. Because honestly, if I were a misandrist, I think that I should be embarrassed to be of such a bigoted mindset. But yet there are those out there that claim to be proud misandrists. So tell me, why exactly are some of you so proud of your bigotry? I really want to know.
If your boyfriend complains about doing normal boyfriend tasks, it's a huge red flag and you should know now.
Oh dear. Now, believe it or not, there are actually still quite a large number of women that genuinely believe in stereotypical gender roles. However, I must point out that this usually only applies to when they're in a relationship, and more pointedly, it only applies to the men. They believe that if they're in a relationship with a man, that the man should be performing all the stereotypical chores that would fall to a gentleman, such as taking out the trash, building things, lifting heavy objects, and taking care of the car. Yet many of these women, because they mistakenly call themselves feminists, mostly because they don't understand the definition of the term, would be very upset if someone insinuated that they should be performing stereotypical women's tasks, such as cooking and cleaning. So why is gender roles okay in one situation, but yet not in another?
Guys don't want girlfriends, they want mothers.
What types of guys are these women dating? It's really beginning to seem like all of the women that make statements like this are all dating the exact same type of guy and assuming the rest of the male population is the same.
They don't want you to be their partner, they want you to be their mommy.
Wouldn't it be nice if some of these women develop better taste than men? Because just a friendly reminder, you ladies are the ones choosing these men.
They want you to cook for them, clean up after them, babysit their emotions, help them grow up and mature. His homeboy will literally tell you, I really hope you can make him more mature.
And yet they hear that and they still decide to date him.
Bitch, that is not our job. I don't need you sucking the life out of me. I got shit to do. And as a matter of fact, because you want all this from me, I need a personal assistant. So girls, get him to have your morning brew ready at 6 a.m. Okay? Get him to take you places. Get him to drop you off and pick you up and everything.
Let's take a note here. Some of these ladies are expecting the immature, irresponsible men that they have chosen to date to start acting in a responsible manner just because they're in a relationship. Yeah, okay, the delusion is real.
You should be carrying my Chanel. You should be taking off my ballet flats for me. My socks better be in the wash. These men, these boys, they want to request everything from us. And they want to split the check now on top of it. Please. Girls, no more compromising, no more free labor, no more babysitting, no more mothering. Get yourself a personal assistant.
I have an even better idea. Instead of dating the same types of guys over and over again that don't treat you very well, how about some ladies out there raise their standards? Of course, then they would have to stop complaining.
I'm going to adjust your statement a little bit. Not only the exact same type of guy, the exact same guy. We see it time and time again. They're dating the exact same man, the exact same one. Then they're going into these groups and getting the 411 and the scoop on this man. Then when the man dogs them out, they get upset because they thought they could wrangle him in with their good stuff. If you catch my drift, I think that you do. Their good stuff, their magic powers between their legs, and it didn't work. You were just like every other woman.
Women are always told to choose better men, like it's their problem, the men are bad.
How about taking that dreaded first step towards some personal accountability and realize that a lot of women, in fact, do need to choose better? Because a lot of times, some women tend to choose the same types of men that have the same bad characteristics over and over again and decide that it's all men that share those characteristics.
The men are never told to be better men.
Has someone not been paying attention? Because there are multitudes of individuals out there telling men every single day that they need to be better. But I guess someone must have missed that.
It's much easier for a man to choose to be better than a woman to choose better, because a lot of these men are wolves in sheep's clothing.
Really? Exactly how difficult is it for some women out there to actually understand the characteristics that make a good man as opposed to just an attractive man? Because a lot of women will simply date on what they find attractive versus what should be considered for a relationship. And that's the main problem there.
I kind of feel like when you look at a man, you can already tell that they come from a mutated chromosome.
Should I say it?
The way that they physically look, you can already tell that they were a failed experiment at becoming a woman, and so they had no choice to become a man.
Okay, why not? You know, there are some individuals out there that really should not be criticizing what others look like.
Stop saying you want a woman with a low body count and just say that your ego can't risk a woman knowing how terrible you are in bed.
So, men aren't allowed to have reasonable standards when it comes to dating. Is that it? How interesting. It really must be rough for some women to be so absolutely hypocritical, because I would like to point out that if a woman had said that she would only be with a man who had a low body count, she would not only be praised as a queen, but told that she is doing the right thing by having respect for herself and only wanting to be with someone who also has self-respect. Yet if it's a man that has a reasonable or even a high standard when it comes to dating, they are actually often shamed for it. While women are told to shoot for the moon to have men with the highest salaries and best jobs and the best looks, men are essentially just told that they should be very grateful for what they get. Oh dear. They do try ever so hard, don't they, to try to get me to dislike myself. However, little attempts like this, childish as they may be in my opinion, are not going to work. And for reference, the commenter here claims to be the original creator of this video right here. Yeah, the one where the woman was complaining that men were talking in the coffee shop and they couldn't enjoy their coffee. Yeah, that one. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. If they claim that I hate myself because I love men so much, I really would actually like an explanation of how a person can come to that conclusion. Because having respect and love for your fellow human being is actually not a sign of self-hatred. What are they teaching in school these days? Apparently nothing worth learning if this is the end result. Or are some women just so angry that there's actually some other women that will stand up for men when they see them being unnecessarily and unjustifiably disparaged, that they have to lash out at other women because they're so angry.
Okay, can we start making Instacart for gas?
No. And contrary to what's written on the screen, someone is not just a girl. Someone is a full-grown adult woman and perfectly capable of pumping their own gas. But if a person is lazy, just say so. Or rather, they actually do in the next part.
Because I'm at literally 0 miles pulling into the gas station right now before I go to the gym.
See what I mean?
This just isn't my job. This is not the job for me. This is somebody else's job. It's not mine.
You know what I wish? I wish that a lot of these very entitled, selfish, lazy women who actually believe in gender roles, but only in so much that it serves their purpose, would actually stop embarrassing the rest of us women and making the entire population of women look bad.
Why are we dating men who are confused about us?
Well, that's a very good question. I don't know why anyone would want to date another person who's confused about what the other person wants in a relationship. Although, most likely in these cases, if the guy is confused, it is most likely because someone didn't communicate effectively and expects the guy to understand what they mean by simply dropping hints instead of being direct. Well, on that note, we will have to disagree, because a lot of women don't bring anything to the table except what they look like. And when we say bringing stuff to the table, that doesn't necessarily mean money. That means attributes from a person's personality that actually makes them a good partner. So yes, indeed, what do a lot of women bring to the table?
They don't know what they want. You should not want them. No more confusion.
I would actually argue that most guys usually do know what they want, but it takes effective communication in order for two people to be able to understand if they want to be with each other. That's the part that a lot of women are missing.
Why do you guys think that calling us pretty or complimenting our physical looks by saying we're pretty, beautiful, whatever, cute even, is a compliment?
Perhaps because it is, but I understand a lot of individuals use words that they don't know the meanings of. So what is the definition of a compliment? It is a polite expression of praise or admiration.
Because it's not. I've been called cute since I was 5 years old. So I'm 25 now. For the past 20 years, I've been called cute and pretty and whatever. That's not a compliment anymore. That's just a blatant fact that everyone can literally see.
Well, this might hurt some feelings, but oh well. But I think it's time for some individuals to realize that not every person finds the same things attractive in every person.
Anybody with fucking 2 eyes, well, unless you're blind, which, my bad. But people who can see that I'm pretty. They can see that I'm cute, whatever you want to call it.
I didn't think that I would have to point this part out, but apparently some need to hear it. A person can be as attractive as they believe themselves to be, but if they don't have a good personality, that automatically takes them down to 0.
That's the reason some of you guys even compliment us and say the bare minimum of compliments of you're pretty, you're cute, is because you just want the ego feeling of feeling above somebody when they say thank you.
You can't make this stuff up. Some actually think that it's giving another person an ego boost to say thank you for a compliment. Well, don't worry, and this will bring some of you a lot of comfort. Eventually, those compliments will stop. Just imagine how wonderful it would be to be in a relationship with someone whose continued love and affection was contingent upon how much you continued to financially support them.
Men, I think what you have confused is that as a woman, I don't need you any longer.
What is there to be confused about? Most men understand that women don't actually need men in their lives, but a lot of individuals don't understand the difference between need and want.
Up until the 70s, I needed you to get a credit card. Up until recently, I needed you to have a baby.
The most terrifying part is there are a lot of women out there that actually do believe that they don't need a male's contribution to get pregnant.
I don't need you anymore. You don't complete me. Like Jerry Maguire said, I am complete by myself.
If someone is so complete, why talk so much about something that a person doesn't need unless they want it?
So when I say you have to earn me, it's that you have to earn the right to receive my time, my beauty, my femininity, my softness. I'm an add value to you more than you're an add value to me.
Add value. Speaking as if people are nothing more than objects whose price goes up with the addition of accessories. And some women wonder why they get objectified when they seem to speak about themselves as if they are objects.
That's where I think you're getting confused on what we're saying, that it's not 50-50, it's 90-10, okay?
I foresee a lot of very lonely women in the future, mostly because those that think this way have not the faintest idea how relationships work in the first place. So I guess it's a good thing that they don't need men.
I mean, honestly, just stop talking. Quit talking. I don't know why y'all think that by going on and on about not needing a man will fall in love with that. Hey, I don't need you. You mean nothing to me. Hey, that present that you just gave me, that's trash. I don't need that. Imagine if a man were saying that. Oh, you went out of your way to do something for me that was sentimental, this whole picnic. I don't really need that. I want that, but, I can create a picnic or build a picnic myself. I don't really need what you got going on. Y'all know how immature and childish you sound? And by the way, these women are 40 and 50 years old, still talking as dumb as they were talking when they were 20 years old. Imagine holding the same silly belief, the same immature way of thinking for 20, 30 years. You're darn near close to retirement age, still talking like you just came out of high school.
I'm here to remind men that giving compliments to women is just not enough anymore.
And here, that used to be just the bare minimum to give a woman a compliment. But, in my opinion, I think we can blame social media for a lot of women just not even being able to hear compliments anymore because they receive so many of them from random strangers that they just don't even matter anymore.
I went to the gas station, and this man was like, "You're so beautiful." And I just looked at him like, mm-hmm. And I just kept on going.
See what I mean?
So I come back out, trying to pump my gas, and he's waiting for me. And he's like, "Did you hear me? I said you're so beautiful." And I'm like, "Well, if you think I'm so beautiful, then why didn't you pay for my gas?" And let me tell you, I got my gas paid.
Sadly, that really does seem to be what some women are expecting now. One could go so far as to say that they are expecting what a person could call wife treatment from a guy that they haven't even become properly acquainted with, just so that he can get her attention. And sadly, this seems to be pushed by a lot of women on social media. But ironically, some of those very same women are the ones that are wondering to themselves, why are there so many guys out there that seem to have such an aversion to dating?
Men cannot accept that women are single by choice because most men are not single by choice.
What type of men exactly are they talking to? Because most of the guys that I know that are single are happily so.
And I'm sure I'll have many men in the comments being like, "I'm single by choice." No, you're not.
Why? Because it's inconceivable to some that a lot of men's standards are too high to date a lot of the women that they meet out there?
Most women are single by choice because getting a man is the absolute easiest thing to get.
I wonder if they know that getting a man and then keeping a man are two different things.
Men don't want to believe that, but guess what? Y'all are easy.
I've often found that it takes experts in those particular matters to recognize it in others.
On the other side of the coin, women are mostly difficult to get, okay? And especially now in 2025, women have standards that most men do not ever plan on reaching. And if they do, it is usually a temporary fix until the mask falls.
That might have something to do with the fact that almost every woman out there considers herself to be a 10 out of 10 and expects their man to also be a 10 out of 10. Quite frankly, a lot of women have unrealistic expectations.
To be real, it's too many males on planet Earth, and that's why there's so much hatred and vitriol towards women.
And silly me, here I thought it was a combination of a lack of education and willful ignorance on the part of some men as well as some women.
Because it's too much of them. Really think about this.
I'm sure we'll try.
Patriarchal society makes women believe that we are only good for being wives and mothers. So it directly ties our femininity and womanhood to having children, even though there are so many unlimited forms of feminine expression.
Uh-huh. And this directly correlates to the problem being an overpopulation of men. How?
But when males have exploited our ability to create people, you get more people on planet Earth than what it's supposed to be. Therefore, you have a bunch of entitled men who have to compete with each other, and they're really mad at the system that created them, but they have no choice but to blame women.
All right, now let me ask a question. What exactly do circular arguments like the one that we've just seen demonstrated actually accomplish? Because it does nothing to offering up a solution as to why women still face misogyny. Because, as I said, the real root causes behind misogyny in this world, as well as any kind of prejudice or discrimination, would be a lack of education in combination with willful ignorance. So I'm going to ask, for those that jump on the bandwagon of arguments like the one that we've just seen, what exactly is the solution to overcoming those problems? And today, on how sexism is only funny if it's about men, please see the following.
Under my leadership, women would not have to pay taxes. No, they wouldn't. You're a woman. No taxes for you. Everything is a tax write-off for you.
Oh, it gets better.
Next, tampons free. Pads free. Anything to do with menstrual cycle and pain is free, bitch.
And how are those going to be paid for? Oh, yeah, that's right. That half of the population that would be left paying taxes would be footing the bill for those.
Next, we are going to stop funding male medical research. No more of it. From now on, we are only doing studies and research for women, on women's health only. From here on out, thank you so much.
So half of the population is not deserving of medical research? Oh dear.
Next, all men must go to work under my leadership. Yes, you must. You must be at work. Providing for any woman and every woman in your life. It's a requirement under my leadership, bitch.
Yeah, no. There are those of us women out there that can actually take care of ourselves. Sorry that some don't fall into that category.
And finally, every man is guilty until proven innocent. That's just a quick little roundup under my leadership of what I'm aiming, okay? Thank you. This is the Simona Project.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who's wondering, who exactly is going to be enforcing this new sexist regime? I wonder if they thought that part through.
I don't think that men should be allowed to use weightlifting gloves in the gym.
Any particular reason why? Or should we just add that to the list of things that guys shouldn't be doing because some random woman says so?
Take off the hand thong. You're lifting 50 pounds.
Okay.
And I do understand that you're really concerned about keeping your hands soft to like jerk off your friend or whatever. You'll be okay. Take it off.
Okay. Allow me to be rather blunt. And for those whose delicate sensibilities I am about to offend, I would apologize, but I'm not one little bit sorry because most likely you are in the audience that I am actually addressing at this moment. So let me ask a question, because I'm frankly sick of seeing this particular little narrative of women seeming to think that it's cute or even remotely acceptable to be homophobic and try to shame men into getting them to do what you want by insinuating that they're not straight because of the things that they do. So the question is, when exactly did you think that being a bigot was something that was remotely acceptable at this point in time? Really? Some of you really need to grow up, because if a guy doesn't do something that you like, perhaps just communicate that using words instead of trying to use shaming tactics.
If you make more money than the average person, then you should use that wealth to help people that don't make as much money as you.
They're not talking about good works or charities, which a lot of people do. No, they're talking about something else entirely.
Because really, what are you using all of that money for? Because yeah, you can have generational wealth, but you can't create generational wealth if only one generation is cooking.
Essentially, they're stating that if a person has a better job and makes more money than another person, then the person that does make more money should share their excess with that person that isn't as fortunate to have such a good job. Yeah, no. No other person is entitled to another person's earnings.
Generational wealth is supposed to be generations that get to receive abundance because we all work together.
Yeah, no, that is not how that works, but continue.
So if we aren't sharing and being considerate, then that's, kind of why we're in the predicaments we're in.
Interesting. Well, it is an admirable quality when individuals who are fortunate enough to be wealthy do assist those that are less fortunate than them. I will never change my mind when I say that just because you don't make enough money does not mean that you are entitled to someone else's money who has worked hard to earn theirs. I really hope that some of these ladies really do like being single, because asking someone to spend $30,000 or round and about approximately what some people make in a year on a piece of jewelry, yeah, that would be considered an unrealistically high expectation. Enjoy being single, ladies.
Whenever you're dealing with a man, please keep in mind if they want to play, they have to pay.
There's actually a word for that, and it's not dating.
And if they're low on funds, they can't have no fun.
Let's think about this. What exactly is the term for charging someone for certain activities? I'm sure if we think about it really hard, we can all think of it.
Stop being so nice to them. They are not nice people. They're only being nice so that they can gain access to you and your holes.
Oh, how classy. Almost as classy as charging men for access.
They are the fakest creatures on this earth. They are liars. They are manipulators. It's literally encoded in their DNA.
Encoded in their DNA. Is it now? Just a question. They still teach biology in school, right? Has that turned into a class that individuals don't have to pass to graduate?
And please just keep in mind whenever you're dealing with them that you are in there to get something out of the deal, because I guarantee you they are not leaving empty-handed.
Ever wonder why so many guys choose to remain single? Well, it's because a lot of women actually agree with these types of statements.
The male gender is going extinct.
Well, there goes the species, I guess.
They were impossible not to admire, you know? I mean, they used to go to war. They were providers, protectors. But that was kind of a long time ago.
Has someone been living under a rock? Because a lot of men still do all of those things.
Because now they're posting fit checks and skincare routines. So many traits that were once labeled as feminine are now commonly found in men. So, what happened?
Oh, well, that's easy. Quite frankly, a lot of women got exactly what they asked for when it comes to how some men currently behave. Because there was a belief, and it's still held by some, that masculinity itself was toxic. And unfortunately, that belief came about because some individuals who acted in a traditional masculine manner had some toxic behaviors. Therefore, it made sense, due to a lack of critical thinking skills on the parts of some, that all of masculinity was toxic. So if a person is asking why some men aren't acting in such a masculine manner as they used to, well, it's because women didn't want them to.
You guys come for me, I don't care. I'd rather be a side chick.
Just gets classier and classier.
And I'm about to tell you guys why I'd rather be a side chick, okay? Because you will never see me. You will never see me doing the most for a fucking guy. As far as cleaning, doing his fucking laundry, cooking for him. God forbid I gave this man a kid.
Who's going to tell them that those things aren't requirements for being in a relationship? But if someone would rather be a side piece, well, then by all means.
Eventually, ladies, your man's gonna play you. And eventually, if he gets tired of your ass, he's gonna leave you. That's just the way it works.
I imagine that is the usual experience of a side chick.
So why do you guys think it's a brilliant idea to do the fucking most for these men, especially giving a fucking man kids? Who told you guys this was fucking a brilliant idea?
I think the more important question would be, who actually convinced someone that being a cheating homewrecker was a good idea? I find that to be the more serious and pertinent question.
You guys are fucking dumb. I'm here to tell you, you guys are fucking dumb.
Was that the voice of experience speaking?
So, I'm here to tell you, ladies, it's much better to be a side chick. 100%. And I will keep saying that.
Right. I can't really take the advice of someone seriously who obviously has no respect for not only the person they're in a relationship with, but more importantly, themselves.
I don't get it, man. Imagine driving in your car, you got your hair done, you got your makeup done, you know, just driving down the road on a nice day, got your little jacket on, comfortable, listening to your music or your radio station. The world is your oyster. You can go anywhere. You can go do anything. I can go get something nice to eat. I can go see a movie. If I wanted to, I can go chill out by the beach and just relax for a few hours. Literally anything. I can do anything within reason. But the thing that I choose to do is get on the internet and talk about stupid stuff. That's what I choose to do with my time. Modern women, you know, once again, we don't call them losers enough. Number one. Number two, they don't reflect enough. And that's the biggest thing, because they are being called losers. They're being called to be held accountable, but they're not listening to it, is what it is. I don't know if we have to put on more pressure, which most men won't. You know, I just walk away from dating. I'm at peace. You hear a lot of men say I'm at peace. When you hear this, you can understand why. Foolishness.
The next man that enters my life, he is required to take me out on 3 dates before he gets a sleepover and before he gets my clothes off.
That's it? Just 3 dates, huh? That's all that it takes? And just imagine, there are some women out there that don't even wait that long before giving out sleepovers and taking off their clothes. It's no small wonder that some of these women are wondering why those men don't stick around.
Okay, I'm being so fucking for real right now because here's the thing. As soon as you spend the night with a man, not even doing anything, they stop asking you out on dates.
Gee, I wonder why.
Then, once you sleep with them, they don't want anything to fucking do with you anymore, which, like, whatever. I'm tired of men sexualizing me and objectifying me.
And who allowed that to happen?
yeah, I've made it very easy for them to do that in the past, but like, I'm done. I'm seriously fucking done. Like, hookup culture is fun for like 5 minutes. I miss connection. I miss connection. I miss feelings. I miss being yearned for. I miss yearning.
Then, might I recommend raising someone's standards to having it take more than just 3 dates?
I can't just keep getting obsessed with a man for a week or two and then moving on to the next one. It's too exhausting, and it's honestly like mentally draining.
And does anyone know whose fault that is? Take a wild guess.
What happened to romance? I want romance!
Women who complain about that really only have one person to blame, and it's not the guy, because who can blame them for losing interest in someone who gives it up so easily?
Anyways, celibacy era is going great so far. So good.
It probably will, because there are some things that don't hold much value if it's given away so freely.
Do any other girls get offended when like ugly men try to approach you? I'm saying that with my full chest.
No. What a truly odd thing to be offended by. Just imagine being upset because someone found you attractive and actually had the confidence to approach you. I wonder how they deal with it every day. It must be awful. But if we've ever needed proof, shall we say, that there are lots of individuals out there that are very easily offended by the littlest and, might I say, the silliest of things, I think we've just seen it. Because most individuals do understand that attractiveness is subjective, and a person is never going to know if they themselves are up to another person's level unless they actually try. Because not every person finds the same things attractive in everyone else. Essentially, a person is going to miss 100% of the shots that they don't actually bother to take. So, there's no harm in trying, is there?
I think airplanes should change their policy to let women board first, ladies first, and then have men board after.
It's funny how so many women say that they want equality. That is, until the very moment that it doesn't benefit them somehow. And then their true colors come out, and it's really the case that they want more rights and more privileges than men.
And there's no group 1, group 2, group 6, or whatever. It's just ladies first, ladies get on board, they get settled, and then the men. I think that would be super classy.
That's not what I would call super classy. That is actually what I would call super sexist, and actually is an excellent example of what I'm talking about. Because individuals that are for this type of idea are rather implying that women are just simply not able to get settled in as quickly as men, or that women deserve special privileges simply for being women. So why do some women say that they want equality and then act like they want to be treated as better than men? You really can't have it both ways, although some certainly do try.
I'm so sick and fed up of men using the argument, it's not all men, it's not all men, so I'm going to draw this out for you.
Oh, good. A visual aid.
So at the bottom, we have the worst of the worst. We have rapists, pedophiles, murderers, you're in jail, you're a horrible person. We can all unanimously agree as a society these are very, 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 very bad people. Okay, that's bottom of the bottom. And then we have a little scale. And then at the top here, we have men who speak up for women, men who advocate for women, men who protect women, and men who confront all of the other men. That's where you're missing me.
So what they're saying, in order for a man to be considered in that top tier of men, they need to fall into all of those categories of speaking up for women, defending women, and condemning the actions of those bad men. But women have been telling men for years to leave them alone, to stay out of their business, not to speak for them, and that they don't need them. So what are men supposed to do, and who are they supposed to listen to?
I'm not saying it's a 50-50 scale of good and bad. I'm saying that this is a slow blended gradient between good and bad. And no matter where you fall on here, if you're not here, I don't like you.
Now they go on for another couple of minutes explaining how, indeed, most men are considered to be bad unless they fall into that top category. So essentially, if you're not the best, then you're the worst. It's really unfortunate that at this point in time, there are individuals that still try to justify their despising an entire group of people based on the actions of some. It's almost like there's a word for that.
You need to fucking calm down. Women will never walk past you or run past you and go, morning. Women don't do that. Women don't harass women. Only men harass women.
Gentlemen, I'm just going to say it. It really seems that men simply cannot win. Because now, according to some, if a man even says good morning to a woman, he's harassing her. You can't make this stuff up.
Women are the reason for 60% of divorces, and honestly, I believe it.
It's very true. Most divorces are, in fact, initiated by women.
because men will ignore you for years and then act confused when you finally leave. Like, don't play dumb. She didn't wake up and decide she was done. She told you 1,000 times what was wrong, and you brush it off every single time.
Now, I understand that this post is supposed to be about how men are the problem in marriages, but a lot of individuals like to conveniently leave out the fact, and yes, it is a fact, that women married to women actually have the highest divorce rates of all. So is it really men that are the problem?
One thing about women, we'll stay until the very last straw. We'll explain it, we'll cry about it, we'll try to fix it, and you still sit there acting clueless.
If that was actually true, then women married to women would actually have the longest lasting relationships, wouldn't they?
When she finally files, suddenly, it's, where did it come from? It came from you not listening. That's why most women file for divorces.
Okay, sure. But in my opinion, a lot of women, not all, file for divorce because they simply aren't happy. And there's a lot of women that would rather just get divorced than work on the problem.
I just had 5 grown-ass men walk by, grown-ass, able-bodied men, walk by as I struggle to like carry all of my shit and help this poor mother with 3 children carry her stroller down the stairs.
Well, contrary to what was written across that screen, I don't believe that there's anything at all wrong with most men. In fact, especially if a person pays attention to what some women post on social media, those gentlemen were doing exactly what a lot of those women have been asking men to do. Leave them alone. Don't approach them, and certainly don't talk to them. So why exactly would they be inclined to help some woman that they don't know, not knowing how exactly she's going to react to having those men approach her?
They just looked and kept walking. I'm literally like dropping my umbrella and everything. They just keep on walking.
And I cannot blame them for that, because they had no way of knowing how a strange woman would react to being approached by a strange man. Honestly, it's best that they just played it safe and kept their distance. But a lot of women really want to be treated as equals until they're treated the same way that a lot of men are.
When a man tells you that he thinks you're wifey material, what he's telling you is that he sees in you a good servant.
Right. Sadly, though, there are some women out there that genuinely believe this, and that would be because they have encountered that small minority of men that unfortunately do want their wives to be nothing more than servants. But even more unfortunately, those women that actually believe this seem to lack the critical thinking skills to understand that not all men are the same.
When he says he sees wifey material, you need to hear that he sees you're easy to exploit.
What's really sad is there seems to be an ever-increasing number of women that will try to find any way to try to make themselves out to be a victim.
The man who sees you as wifey material is planning for you to have a nice long life of cleaning his dishes, washing his socks, and getting on your knees whenever he wants you to.
Some really do try, don't they?
As I recently heard a man say online, you may not be feeling so well, but your mouth still works. That's how they see us. That's what wifey material is. Wifey material is an insult.
Take a lesson. That is how prejudice starts. Someone takes one thing that apparently a rather uneducated individual said and applies it to an entire population. That's exactly how that happens.
You know, a wife is not a servant, right? Can you stop talking, please? A wife is not a servant. You know that. A wife is a support system. She's a friend. She's a nurturer. She's a help. She's a motivator. She's all of those things and more. But you would never know that because you think a wife is supposed to be somebody that sits out by the pool and sips mimosas all day. I get to wake up at 10 or 11 o'clock, maybe wipe down the kitchen counters, and then go out by the pool. And really what I'm doing is wiping down the kitchen counters because I messed them up. And really when I say the kitchen counters, I mean the little space where I made coffee. If I do make coffee. Because I might order a coffee or something like that from Starbucks and run up a bill. Order a small mocha frappuccino or something like that that's going to be melted by the time it gets to me, or one of those caramel macchiatos or whatever drink you want, and pay $25 for it by the time fees come in. By the time I tip the Uber driver or the DoorDash driver. I'm a spend money on nonsense. Stuff that only benefits me. And then I might have the common decency to clean up behind myself. That's really what wiping the kitchen counters is. My husband's trying to save money, so in an attempt to save money, He bought me the K-Cups, the exact ones that I wanted. He bought me a nice fancy machine, but I can't be bothered to actually make it myself because I don't want to work. I'm a trash person. I'm not a wife. That's what y'all think a wife is. He's just saying it's a good woman that supports me. I can support her. We can build together. Stop being an idiot.
And you better not be a man coming to my store with a woman because I will make you pay.
And how exactly does someone plan on making the man pay?
I will literally tell her to put her phone and her card away and make you pay.
Oh, well, that'll do it. But I've noticed that some of those very individuals who would actually say that the man should pay are actually some of the same ones that don't like gender norms and stereotypes. Unless, of course, it benefits them.
If you are a woman who proposes to her bitch-ass boyfriend, you are part of the problem.
Okay, what is the problem?
You are contributing, perpetuating, and validating the men these days that want princess treatment.
Princess treatment? Oh, goodness, another person using buzzwords that they don't know exactly what they mean. But no, men wanting to be appreciated and valued in a relationship is not princess treatment. That's actually part of equality.
I will even take this a step further and say if you are so tired of waiting to be proposed to that you feel like you have to, I think you should get rid of your bitch-ass boyfriend.
Maybe. Instead of calling those guys names, maybe a person could take a moment to realize the inner strength that those women possess to step outside of the gender norm box when they realized they wanted to get married, and so they just decided to propose. It's really not that difficult to understand.
Because your bitch-ass boyfriend obviously does not want to be your husband. I know that's harsh. I know that's even slightly mean. Sometimes the shit we don't want to hear is what we exactly need to hear.
Indeed. Like how it's rather infantile behavior to try to shame women for actually taking steps forward to do something that might make them happy in life. Yeah, we should probably stop doing that.
Stop proposing to men. Now!
Ironically, this just seems to be another case of someone only supporting gender roles when it suits their purpose. I'm sorry, but maybe I'm missing something. Why exactly is chivalry dead? I don't see two damsels in distress that are in dire need of a big, strong man to come get them out of a situation that they have no hope of escaping. Or am I wrong? Because it seems that in this case, no matter what the men would do, they're going to be wrong anyway. They're wrong if they don't help two fully capable women with their vehicles, but I also have a feeling that those men would be in the wrong if they actually came over to help those women. Because what exactly are they wanting? A man to overlook the situation and tell them that they did a good job? Because then he might be accused of mansplaining, or even worse, of harassing two perfectly strong, capable women. But yeah, I don't think that chivalry is dead. I think that some women are finally able to take care of themselves, and they don't like it.
When I push him away, and he doesn't try harder, not my time.
So no means no, except for when no means maybe or possibly yes, but only in so much as that the no is followed by further pursuit of the yes? No wonder guys are confused. If you're the type of person that says it's all men, and you never know which one to trust and therefore must treat all of them as dangerous, based on the actions of some, or even if you make a small concession and say that it's not all men, but it's always a man, then I'd like to point out that you are in fact no better than a racist. Because, in case you hadn't noticed, that is the exact same reasoning that some of those racists use to justify stereotyping and generalizing entire groups of people. This will come as a surprise to absolutely no one. But in my last post, where I indicated that someone who judges an entire group of people, in this case men, based on the actions of some of those men, is no better than a racist, well, believe it or not, there are actually several individuals in that comment section as we speak, defending the position of those who despise an entire group of people. They're actually trying to justify bigotry. It's amazing to me that in some cases, especially if it fits a certain narrative or an agenda, if you will, that there are more than a few individuals that are actually willing to stand up and defend bigotry. So my question is, when is there an excuse to be a bigot and be prejudiced against an entire group of people. Because if a person of a certain skin color does something, most people, most reasonable people, would consider it wrong to hold the entire group of people that share that skin color accountable. But as long as it's men, then it's okay to do so. So someone please explain to me why it's okay in some situations to be a bigot, and in other situations, it's not okay at all.
Can I just talk about how, on average, I'm opening the door for men more than they open the door for me?
Apparently, that's a problem. Otherwise, we wouldn't be hearing about it.
I knew that chivalry was dead, but like I didn't know it was dead. Like I didn't know it was like this.
Like what? Being treated as an equal instead of a delicate, helpless woman that can't do anything for herself?
Like, I don't mind being kind to men, you know, opening the door for them, yeah. But it's just a little off-putting when it's like 3 out of 5 times I'm opening the door for a man and he's just going right through.
Well, a lot of women do that to men. They go right through the door and don't even say thank you. But yet somehow women are offended when they're treated in the same way.
You feel like a man after that? Like me personally, I wouldn't feel like a man after that. Like I'd feel like a bitch.
It's rather ironic that when some women want to try to insult men, they usually end up referring to them by a term that was normally used to try to insult women, insinuating that they are feminine. Anyone else see the irony there?
And do you have any respect for yourselves? Like, you guys, like, on average, guys, I'm really out here opening doors for men more than they're opening for me. We're talking about grown-ass men. We're talking about grown men, like beard men, okay? Me, little lady, opening the door for you 3 out of 5 times is kind of weird.
Interesting. And that goes right along with a little trend that I've been noticing, that some women really despise gender roles, except when it comes to men. They think that men apparently should stay in certain gender roles, but that it doesn't apply to women. Except, of course, when it benefits them.
I know you guys probably think that men are here for your pleasure. They're only here to serve you. The random acts of kindness and the nature of a gentleman, y'all have begun to abuse. That's why men are stepping back from doing it. There are going to be some occasions where, yeah, I'll hold the door open for you. I'll do something nice for, hey, are you okay? I'll check on you if need be. But by and large, I'm not going to be at your beck and call. I'm not. Y'all don't have any emotional discipline. So you'll go out there and get yourself into trouble. Well, how do you know? Well, because we watch you. We see what you're doing. You go out there, you pop off at the mouth, particularly in a man's face. It'd be one thing if you kind of kept that between women, woman to woman, and so maybe you can handle yourself. But y'all will go to football games, sporting events in general. Y'all will be out in the street where you have no protection, all up in a man's face. And all of a sudden, that chivalry that you're looking for, that man to protect you, now I have to use that a little bit more than what I thought I would. And it'd be one thing if a guy was drunk and he's all in your face and he's pushing up on you. And you say, hey, bro, don't do that. Hey, chill out. But what y'all are doing, y'all be the ones that are drunk. Y'all be the one, maybe nobody's drunk in this situation, but you're the aggressor. And the man might be able to say, hey, you guys, break it up, break it up. Oh, well, he was doing this, this, and this. Yeah, I get that, but you guys break it up. Take it easy. Step back. Hey, you go your way. Hey, bro, cool off. All right, man, what she did. I understand, bro. I get it. Cool off. He beat and left. You come back 20, 30 minutes later, all up in his face. And then when that man do something to you, you want me. I'm over on the other side of the bar or the club or the event, minding my business with my wife or my girlfriend or my lady, my friends. And now you want us to run over there and take care of you. Men get tired of that. I don't know if you noticed, men want peace in their life. They don't like chaos. They don't like drama. One of the guys I watch a lot, self-checkout, said, you know, men, they're not going to get into a fight unless necessary. A lot of men, they don't want to fight. Oh, well, you weak. Who gonna be the boys? I don't know who gonna be the boys, but I'm gonna be at home. I don't want to fight. And that's what you're trying to make me do. You're creating problems, causing mischief, acting stupid. And now you want me to come behind you and treat you with respect. I don't respect anybody that continues to cause trouble for them and the people around them. Get a life.
Oh dear. Did someone feel a bit called out? Was someone's belief systems, and possibly even their own actions, called into question in that last post? But more importantly, do they not teach the definition of words in school? Or possibly dictionaries aren't available where someone is from? Or, as is most likely the case, did someone just brain dump that information when it no longer suited their purpose? The latter is most likely the case. Because if someone actually did truly understand the definition of bigotry, then they would understand that men can absolutely experience bigotry for being men, even in a patriarchal society. And it's even more obvious that someone really felt that video hit rather close to home, because saying that hating men and comparing it to racism is disrespectful really makes me wonder, what types of hate does a person consider to be acceptable? Because obviously, someone thinks that hating a group of people based on a characteristic that they cannot control is acceptable, only so long as it's against the right group of people. Because let's be very clear, racism and misandry, which is the hatred of men, do share that in common. They both hate people for a characteristic that they have no control over. One being is how they were born, and the other is the color of their skin. So I really look forward to hearing the answer, dear commenter. What type of hatred do you consider to be acceptable?
Men are weaker than women, and that's just is what it is. And women know this, but for some reason, men are having a hard time catching on.
Oh, really?
You guys are weak. You guys are lame. You guys are dumb. Literally, don't use your brain.
I wonder if they're going to say anything of value.
The reason why it takes like 5-10 men to sit there and destroy a woman and make her become a cold, heartless bitch, and it only takes men one woman.
Is anyone else still waiting for them to get to the point?
Men are weak. Y'all was not supposed to be the rulers of society. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
And some women continue to prove why they shouldn't be in charge of, well, anything.
I believe y'all are supposed to be here with the babies, with the kids, cooking, cleaning, and I believe women are supposed to be out there in the fields. Is that what I fucking believe? And then also, if we look historically, that is accurate. It's accurate, bro. That's accurate.
Which history book did that come out of?
I hate y'all.
Thanks for stating the obvious.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you women. This is our fault. This is our fault. Because we sit there and baby the fuck out of them. And then turn around and complain about them.
Maybe it has something a bit more to do with the irrational thought processes that some women display.
Like, what are you complaining about, baby? You're the one sitting there being all soft, feminine energy, all that other shit, like, that they fucking made up.
Well, there are some women out there that will never be mistaken for being feminine.
I think one of the easiest ways to see how much men don't actually see women as people is to look at widowers.
Right. Let's do that. Because after all, that would make perfect sense. Take the behaviors and possible feelings of a small portion of the population and then come to the reasonable conclusion that the majority of the population must share in those behaviors and possible feelings. Okay.
Like, do you know how fast those men remarry just to have another warm body in their bed and someone making warm meals for them? Do you know how fast they will find another woman to parent their own children because they need a mother?
Does a person understand even how utterly ridiculous this sounds? Because unbeknownst to them, apparently, many men who unfortunately lose their wives to an unfortunate circumstance often choose not to remarry. So they are taking an even smaller portion of an already small portion of an entire population and using it to judge the rest of that population.
So it doesn't matter that they are that child's actual parent, and it doesn't matter if the woman they find is not that kid's actual mother, because it's all the same to them, because women mother.
They're really trying, aren't they?
As long as that woman is a woman, it doesn't matter if she's actually that child's mother, as long as she's a woman. Do you see how diabolical that is?
Diabolical? Oh, I know what's really diabolical here. And it's the fact that in order to try to push a certain narrative, someone is leaving out a lot of statistical information that is freely available on this subject. Because while it is true that widowers are more likely to remarry as compared to widows within the first year, the percentage of widowers who choose to do so is only about 25 to 30% of widowers. And in fact, a lot of men, although they may enter into a relationship more often than women do after the loss of a spouse, It's about 75 to 80% of men will actually remain unpartnered. I wonder why they left out that very critical piece of information. You know, I'm actually glad that they asked that question, even though that was meant to be a dig at men. It actually is a positive sign, because once a question is asked, it must have an answer. And there are, quite frankly, some women out there who are really not ready to hear what men have to deal with on a daily basis, because there are many women out there that are of the mistaken opinion that since many men don't talk constantly about what they deal with every single day, that they must not be going through anything. So yes, I am really glad that question was asked, because I think it's about time that some women finally heard the answers.
And you can see that she did that little thing to where she barely showed her man. And the way she had the mic set up to where he kind of couldn't really see what was going on. He wasn't paying attention. He not worried about it anyway. I'm recording a little stupid TikTok while I'm sitting in stupid. This is what the man is doing for you. You're not driving at all. And he probably has to drive you everywhere. What do men do? I drive you everywhere. I go get the things that you need while you're on your period or you're during menopause. I'm going and getting that stuff. I don't know if you know it, but I have to drive through traffic to get that stuff. Sit in traffic. I don't know if you know it, but in the middle of the night, I don't like getting up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and going and getting that while you lay in the bed. But I do it because I want to support you, kind of like you should be supporting me. Hey, baby, you need any Tylenol or any ibuprofen or anything? Or what do you need? But this is the thanks that men get for supporting you. This is and we talked about a minute ago, chivalry being dead. This is why. Because even though a man is currently and clearly doing for you, you're questioning what a man does while sitting there allowing a man to do for you. Allowing men to ferry you across town when he could be at home doing his own thing. This is why men don't want to protect y'all. This is why men don't want to be bothered with y'all. Y'all are not good people. This is what men mean when they say wifey material. Somebody that doesn't try to get online and embarrass him. Somebody that is thankful. Somebody that is grateful. Delete this video. You look like a loser.